H2K got absolutely murdered tonight. Let's go ahead and start up there with the title H2Killed. Um, a lot of people were kind of going around Twitter and going around other forms of social media and saying, regardless of the outcome, H2K can be extremely proud of what they accomplished being a top four team at Worlds. Now, granted, being a top four team at Worlds um, is a huge accomplishment. Being one of the top four teams in the world when you're competing against the regions like LCK Korea, LPL China, of course across the Atlantic, North America, and all over the world to be in the top four. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good number, or a small. Or, I'm sorry, a pretty good group to be in, rather. However, I'm not sold for H2K, considering that they really didn't have that super hard of a group, and getting a very favorable bracket for quarterfinals. It just seems like they should have kind of walked, or almost just walked right into the finals. Um, if we look at the group stage, granted they uh, they took two games off of EDG on the final day for groups to go undefeated. They went 4-0 that day, counting the tiebreaker against EDG. Um, that was very impressive, and of course it secured them the number one seed heading out of groups. Back onto the previous video that this channel made. It was all about how the quarterfinals side of the bracket was just a complete snooze fest. Just absolutely ridiculous, because you had the powerhouse teams on one side, and then you kind of had like the second rung teams in the middle. Now, if you look at all the teams, all the not Korean teams, we had RNG had to get through SKT, top team in the world. EDG had to get through Rocks Tigers, top team, one of the top teams in the world, if not the top team. Obviously not anymore, since SKT, will get to that. Um, Cloud9 had to get through a Korean team, Samsung Galaxy, to go on. H2K drew such an easy quarterfinal with Albus Nox Luna. Granted, Albus Nox Luna finished second in their groups. They did actually take a game off of Rocks Tigers that was pretty great, but the fact that they beat CLG, they beat G2. I mean, if anything, CLG and G2, they might as well be wildcard teams, considering how poorly that they played. But that's just sour grapes from here. I'm sorry, NA. I didn't want to. I mean, I am from North America, like I've said in the previous videos. I'm just not an NA fan. I'm not a fan of NA teams. My region's China, which obviously didn't get in the finals this year. But H2K 3-0 Albus Nox Luna, play the easiest quarterfinal matchup that you could ever possibly get, and then the actual real challenge, other than EDG in your group, is Samsung Galaxy, and H2K just goes out and gets absolutely embarrassed tonight. It seems like literally only Yankos came to play, and then of course in the last game he really didn't look too solid. Ryu, I honestly feel like Ryu was sleeping at his chair, so I just don't understand. I mean, like I said, top four, regardless of how it happens, they got top four. They could be very proud, but are we really sold on H2K? Now, granted, I did pick H2K to beat Albus Nox. I beat H2K to absolutely slaughter Albus Nox. That's what was expected. I mean, everybody kind of saw Albus Nox Luna's, tricks in all their games and whatnot, that they were kind of exposed and really conceded like the wild card team that they really were. But to go out against Samsung Galaxy and get absolutely embarrassed 3 games in a row, it's a very bittersweet feeling. Sweet the fact that you made it out of quarterfinals, one of the top 4 teams in the world, standing beside, arguably, I guess, if you could say on paper, that H2K right now is the top team in the world that is not Korean. So, I mean, I guess that's what we could say due to how the groups and stuff were out. But, I mean, if you were to compare some of the other teams that didn't make it out of quarterfinals compared to H2K, if RNG went up against H2K, I think RNG would absolutely smash them. EDG and a best of 5 series, I think EDG would take that. I think it would be a closer. I'd maybe say 3-1, 3-2. Cloud9, I mean, that would be a really good series. I would give that edge to H2K, as we just saw. Samsung Galaxy, straight just dumpster. But this is about the teams that lost, and of course we saw them beat up Snux Luna. It was really cool to see Forgiven kind of make it to Worlds finally, and he got a very good place, sitting in the top 4. However, I do not think that it was kind of a successful season, considering who they beat and how they beat them. If we look over at, let's see, what team do we want to look at? Here we go. Group D, for instance. Samsung Galaxy, RNG, TSM, Splice. Samsung got out of a group that was, a pretty good group. You had TSM, who everyone arguably thought that was going to make it out of groups. I still had them not in groups, so I had them in groups still. So, they managed to take first place against RNG and TSM. Splice, it's basically a wild card team. However, Samsung didn't have the easiest route. And then they did play Cloud9. Cloud9 actually came out of groups looking pretty well. Of course, being in the group with SKT. Samsung won that very handily, and then won very handily against H2K. So Samsung only lost 1 game. I believe that was to RNG. I'm not 100% sure. I feel that that's pretty right. But anyway, just to make another point, H2K, yes, they did win their quarterfinals, and they did make it to top 4. However, should they really be proud with what they've done? Yes. Should we be sold on H2K as a team? No, because as we saw, they were completely outclassed in every single lane, and the only one who even who deserves any kind of good job, or this player actually deserved to be on a top 4 team, was Yankos. Everybody else, you steamroll out with Nox Luna. You're apparently this big team now, and then once you actually play a team, and this is Samsung was a team that was considered an upset, that they even made it to Worlds. So, Samsung. This is a team that nobody even said was going to make it to Worlds at all, and here they are sitting in the finals. So that's an underdog story. That's an underdog team right there. Okay, and now that we actually are going to be going to the finals, might as well just do 2 separate parts into one video, as opposed to doing a video now and then doing a World Finals video in the future. No, actually, that's what I will do. I will cut this video short now, and then we'll have a video later on in the week, next week, by about Wednesday. Will be a video with my prediction for the World Championship, whether it will be SK Telecom T1 or if it will be Samsung Galaxy that takes it to the finals. I'm actually gonna share my screen. I did get the predictions right, so I'm not just hating on H2K. I had them in quarterfinals. So, but anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and a favorite. Leave some comments down below if you'd like. You can follow us on Twitter. Actually, it's now just the archive and our email is still the gamers archive podcast at gmail.com. Thank you everybody for watching this video. We hope you have a good night, and we'll see you in the next one.